Guess who's back? Back again.
Back again. It's gonna be May, bro. That's the wrong.
It's
the
gonna
wrong
be
white
May.
Man. The May episode. This is my birthday month. Thank you.
Yes,
very
it
much.
is.
No one tell me happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Anyway. God damn it.
You can't tell me what to
We
do.
have a special guest for this May episode because we've been gone for too long.
Yeah.
But also, this was actually completely unannounced and unplanned. From the last episode, we were supposed to be doing a Mob Psycho episode.
I'm sorry, I have college.
I also have college.
Animation
That's part of
college.
The reason why I haven't been. Yeah, that's why I haven't been harassing you because we were both busy.
Yeah.
And then Alina, our special guest,
Alina
got me hooked on a novel.
And what is the name of the novel, SJ?
You want that in Chinese?
Dude, go what? I want it in Chinese. Sure.
You
Actually,
can go.
yeah,
for
get
it,
Alina to do it.
as our special guest.
Okay, so the novel is called Qian Qiu, which is directly translated into Thousand Autumns.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Right, it starts on September.
Oh my god.
It starts on Shin Chao's birthday month, if I remember correctly.
Virgo baby.
I think it was from an interview.
Oh, no, it's like I think it's oh god, I can't remember if it's an extra or an interview, but anyway, his birthday his birth month is in September.
He fell off a cliff on his birthday.
Okay, guys, before we get too deep into the lore, what is 1,000 Autumns?
Oh goodness.
Give us the cliff notes, guys.
The cliff notes. I'll give you how it starts. Yongxi finds Shin Chao at the bottom of a cliff and decides to bring him home on a whim, just to see what happens.
Oh, for everyone listening, this is a web novel, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And it's 128 chapters with extras.
Yeah, give or take 128. What's the official count? 145?
100, is it?
Oh, it's let's see, we have 128 chapters for the official, and then we have 14 extras.
So
that makes it
plus
around
40.
So that makes it around
43?
142.
42.
Yeah.
I
We
saw
got 14. Yeah, we got 14 extras.
Okay.
Are we regularly updating per Lantern Fest?
No, I
Oh
don't.
my
I don't
God.
think so.
Right, because I think I saw someone talk about a New Year's special, right? There was a New Year's special where Shin Chao gets de-aged.
Help?
He becomes a baby in one of
It's more like he swapped places with his younger self. So it's like
AU fanfiction.
So it's like baby
Okay.
Shen Qiao in the present and adult Shen Qiao is in the past.
Right.
Okay. Let me ask you this on mic, because I know we talked about this earlier when they gave me a primer. For everyone listening, I got a primer because I have not read.
It was an hour long.
They made a beautiful presentation. That they somehow managed to condense 142 chapters into a presentation.
That's nothing.
Alright. Well, they were able to give me a primer. I know some stuff about this, but this is mainly SJ and Alina's time to shine with their brain rot. I just want to know, how did you, Alina, I'm gonna go to you first, because you're the guest. How did you get into this web novel?
Okay, so at that time, that was maybe around the start of the year, I just finished reading and deeply regretting reading a very, very badly written web novel. So I was in the process of cutting all ties to that fandom. And I noticed that some people were posting really beautiful fan art of this other web novel, and I thought, well, it really couldn't be worse than what I just got out of.
Oh god.
But then it turned out to be incredibly good. So I did what I always do when I have a brain rot. I start trying to inflict that brain rot on other people, and SJ happened to be in grabbing range.
Yeah.
And
SJ, you're always in grabbing range.
Of course. I'm, how do I say this? I'm very available. Definitely, mostly because I hate studying, so... Like, 99% of the time, the reason why I am online is because I don't want to study. So, it just so happened that Alina dragged me in the middle of the semester. And the main grabbing point for me, at the time, Alina was, well, still is, in the middle of the audio drama version of this web novel. Very, like, I've heard the tales. It's actually very good, like, professionally made. Some decisions were made.
Oh no.
But we'll get there.
Choices were made.
Choices were made. But, you know, it's an adaptation of a novel, so, you know, it gets a little hard. But, one of the main voice actors for main love interest / main antagonist, Yomoshi, the voice actor for this guy voices Il Dottore from Genshin Impact.
There's no escaping your shameful brain rot. I will just say for all our listeners, we will eventually do an episode on our shameful brain rots.
Shameful brain rots. Oh my god.
I look forward to that, actually.
The funniest thing is, when I started Qian, like, knowing that he was the same VA as Il Dottore, I just couldn't stop making comparisons. Like, okay, Alina and I don't interact with the fandom. This is like a reality for us now, because, like, the fandom is just, like, shipping all the goddamn time. And this is, like, a very, very, like, nicely written novel, and, like, it's got multitudes.
I think
that's the word.
The way I would put it is that it's like 95% really dense plot and politics, and then the other 5 is like general shenanigans with a tiny bit of romantic subplot sprinkled in.
Yeah,
like the only consensual kiss in the entire novel.
Right. It happens at the last. It literally, like, around the last few paragraphs of the official part of the novel is the only consensual kiss between these two men. That is how little importance it is that these two get together. Okay. This is the most basic comparison that we can make. This is the easiest part, is that this is basically martial arts Pride and Prejudice.
Hell yeah.
This is this is the main consensus, because even Alina's dad agrees. That's Qian Qiu and also Yenshin, or Rock and Pear, as we call it.
We're calling it Rock and Pear.
I don't know if we're explaining.
Oh,
but,
you gotta let me talk about Rock and Pear, because I have I have an argument to make about Rock and Pear.
Alright.
Anyway, let's save it for a little later. Let us have some context before that.
So, yeah, this is martial arts Pride and Prejudice with, like, you know, a little more politics, a little more historical facts.
And a lot more
fiction than facts.
And stabbing.
Yeah, a lot of punching and, like, spitting out blood. When you spit out blood, it is not connected to, like, organ failure or something. It's mostly because of chi. Deviation.
It's like your inner energy is out of order, so you need to manually expel some of the
manually reset.
You need to manually expel some of the bad stuff, and it just happens to be blood from the mouth.
I don't prescribe to the idea that it's just because of that. Like, this guy fell off a fucking cliff. Okay. Oh, now we're talking about fucking realism, man. He cracked his head open. You know how it is. And then he got amnesia for up to 45 chapters.
Well, it would be actually around 20 chapters, because by chapter 23 he's got all his memories back.
I like to think he lost a lot of them, but listen, okay, he can't just fall off a cliff and then just magically get his fucking memories back. Come on, man, it's too easy. I had a whole fucking thread about that last night because, like, some people were like, memory loss is, like, the worst trope ever, and I was just like, could you imagine if Qian Qiu actually fucking exploited that trope? It would have been so good, because there's, like, a whole part in the, like, the latter parts of the fucking novel that I can't fucking spoil on recording, but, like, he goes back to his sect after the whole, like, drama with his family, and, like, the betrayal turns out to be the other brother. Like, they just, like, revealed that this guy is the guy that, like, orchestrated everything, and it just, you can't just throw that in there, just, like, you know, just additional flavor. Like, you could have led up to that. That was, like, out of left field. No.
It makes sense. It makes internal sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. But it would have been so good if there were more. You know? Expect my AU fanfiction. So, we were talking about realism earlier. And, like, the fact that you brought that up made me, like, think about the fact that we literally, like, don't interact with the fandom. Because it's, like, you know how when you enter a mostly, like, East Asian piece of media, 99% of the time the fan art is just, like, pale, dark-haired twinks.
Yes.
That is all of the Danmei fandoms in general. Like, that is just them as an amalgamation.
Oh no. Racism.
The only way you can tell them apart is by their clothes, bro.
No. I mean, I know what you mean. I have seen fan art from different Danmeis. I'm like, I don't know which one belongs to which unless there's a label, because everyone looks
exactly the same. They look exactly the same.
It's so bad. And
they're literally color-coded for your convenience. Like, okay, this is the pair where we have the black one and white one. And this pair we have the black one, but he has red accents, and his love interest is partially green for flavors.
Oh my god.
Then the other one has a fucking eye patch for some reason.
For some reason.
Oh my god.
And then there's Yenshin, where it's the guy who is technically supposed to be in blue, somehow is now in purple, and has, like, a very low v-neck.
The v-neck.
And then there's Shincha. Yeah, it's so bad. He has, like, a titty window in the fucking donghua.
Hell.
Awful.
Not the titty window.
You know, the first time I fucking saw that, I almost maimed someone. Literally, Alina showed me, like, the piece of fan art. I was like, why are his tits out?
Why are his tits out? Sir, have some decorum.
I have, like, literally, it's really a case of he wouldn't fucking dress like that.
Well, we all know, we all met via a certain fandom. We all know the ultimate case of he would have fucking dressed like that.
Listen, because it's like, this is set specifically in 6th century China, right? You have a very specific time period, and you can technically look up what the dress code was. You can do that. The fashions are, like, in museums and everything.
You got,
like,
books that talked about it. You got paintings, literal visual aids. You got statues. You even have, like, carvings on the wall. So
there's no excuse.
Like, it's not that hard to
there's
go
no
look
excuse,
it up.
Literally
basically.
no excuse.
And then there's the fact that, you know, in literally, like, the first few chapters of the novel, they talk about how Qian Qiu fell off a fucking cliff, and, like, the guy who helped Yomoshi, like, drag him home, like, could see the fucking skull in his head, like, through the open wound. And I was like, where's the scar in the fan art?
Oh.
Why does this man have a full head of hair?
Oh, that's true. I mean, there's a Filipino word word for, like, something that gets forcibly taken off. Yung poknat. But wala siyang poknat.
Why? Like, where's the crack in the fucking noggin, man? So, like, when I, like, made my fan art for this, I, like, immediately was just like, where do I put the scar on his noggin?
You were like, you cracked your knuckles, and I'm like, Alright. I got work to do.
And I just want to state for the record that I absolutely adore the design, like how visible the scar is, because that really,
Thank you.
that is so subversive in the fan art circle, having that significant a scar on your face, because it gives him the effect of having just one devil horn on his head, and I was like,
Please. Right, okay, hold on. I want to show Gab this.
Do I say your art account?
No, we don't have to worry about it.
do not worry about it.
Do not worry about it is another part of this novel.
Yes, this is our version of the
Wait,
novel,
let me open
where
it.
like 99% of the novel is just like, you know,
The hand.
Qian Qiu telling everyone to say, do not worry about it.
Oh, I remember this. I was on call with you when you did this one.
Yeah.
Esther's the time. Here's the thing. I will say I'm not in any like Danmei fandom or just in general web novel fandoms, but I have seen like people doing fan art of Danmeis or Chinese dramas or whatever. And there is a certain look that I think SJ's design is a lot better than the looks that I see, because it actually looks like an Asian person who has melanin.
The secret ingredient is melanin. It's always melanin.
The secret. No, okay, so we were talking about this, right? Because like Qian Qiu lives in an isolationist sect in the mountains. And you can like technically say like why would you go training inside when you have the open like nature is your training grounds basically. And like canonically Qian Qiu just like likes to cut down trees
Just for fun.
this sword to the
Like every time he gets
Yeah.
inspired with his martial arts, or he thinks about a new way to use his sword, he attacks a tree.
Oh.
Multiple trees.
Not the
immediately.
deforestation.
Multiple trees. Right, he just tree violence.
He is literally Qian Qiu's your briar.
Oh my god.
You're right. Yeah, so we were talking about this. Nature's training grounds. And I'm just like, well, if he spends time in the sun, why can't he have melanin? That's simple.
He's outside.
Literally that simple. Yeah, and he actually, like, there are actual parts of the novel where it says that, like, because he's, like, you know, chronically ill or, like, sick, and he's, like, recovering from being indoors for, like, 3 months because he was, like, you know, he fell off a fucking cliff and he was in a coma, basically. You know, it says that he's, like, he grew a little paler. So I was just like, okay, so he had a tan before this.
So
This is
what you're saying to me, you're like, so what you're saying to me is he had a tan.
Yeah, he had melanin, basically.
He had melanin, and then he regained the melanin because he spent the entire novel running from point A to point B, and at one point he's in the desert.
Yeah, he was in the desert for
For a hot minute.
for a time. Well, they were mostly underground. Oh my god, I just remember. You know? Okay, in the middle of the fucking novel, 5 dudes just try to assassinate Yamushi, and they do this, almost killed him by, like, you know, like, giving
Bonk
him
him on the
brain
head.
Basically. They just, like, bonked him over the head.
I mean, they...
Yeah, he also
Oh my
has
god,
a
that's
cracked
what you call
noggin.
soulmates.
They stabbed him. They stabbed him before they bonked him on the noggin, but yeah, the bonking is very important.
Yeah, there's this part, like, this entire part where he got bonked over the head. Like, while he was in recovery from being bonked over the head and, like, having his skull cracked open, he was in a desert town. And then they had to go to, like, an underground desert kingdom and la 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 la. They were in ruins for a time, and, like, a lot of the fan art for that part has him literally just, like, riding horseback behind Qian Qiu with his, like, hair flowing behind it. I was just like, there is sand everywhere. The sun is just, like, pointing straight at you.
He's not tying his hair back?
There's no hair covering. He has a crack in his noggin. Sand is getting in. I'm just like, literally, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Gab,
Sorry, the mental image of, like, the sand.
yeah,
Yes.
you need to understand. for like 90% of the people in the fandom, having one's hair down is like the pinnacle of beauty. But like literally no one.
But I remember
literally no one in
learning
China.
about some of the traditions. Yeah.
Literally no one in China, like any self-respecting adult, would be tying their hair back and up. Having your entire hair down is literally one of the most childish thing or the most insane thing a person can do.
It was like a rule back then to just have your hair up, because it's like
a rite of passage.
Respectful.
It's a sign that you've grown up. You are now an adult. Like literally, the coming of age ceremony involves a person putting their hair up as a sign that they're an adult. So there is no way these two self-respecting adults would be running around
have their hair down
like little babies.
Research, guys, it's important.
Yeah, like the bare minimum. Like
bare minimum, guys.
Coming into this, I was actually like terrified to make fan art, but I also like hated the fact that there was zero melanin in all of the fucking fan art. So I was just like, I need to do something about this. So I looked up actual fucking like college papers for this. There was a whole thing, and Alina was just like, "You are doing the most."
SJ loves to read college papers.
I hate it, but also I like researching. A blessing and a curse.
Clap if you're shocked. Clap if you're shocked.
That rant over. That's it. We'll get to everything else. I think we were at the part we were talking about. I think now we can talk about Rock and Pear.
Oh god.
Okay.
6th Century's best comedy duo.
Oh my god.
They're like Abbott and Costello if Abbott and Costello absolutely hate each other.
When Alina was telling us about this, I was like, I'm delighted. Please explain why you call them Rock and Pear.
I know we already talked about in length about how this novel is definitely like barely about them, but they are also a very important part of it, because like their relationship is basically just, you know, the find out of the fuck around. So Rock and Pear, we call Yenshin Rock and Pear because there is like everyone who has read the novel and is listening to this, everyone knows that like Yoshi has a Darcy monologue in the middle of the fucking novel where he goes, basically, to me you are a useless rock and I find value in you. That's what you are to me. To the world you may be a worthless rock, but to me I am keeping you in my pocket forever. I will like I will feed you and love you and give you pets. Okay, so
you are my beloved pet rock. Now respond to my advances.
Exactly.
Many rocks and romance in the year of our Lord 2023.
That's the reason why it's rock. The pear part happens after the novel. There's this whole short about Shin Chao basically paying someone for their rotten pears.
I love this story.
Even though the pear farmer was like, here are the good ones, there's not a lot of them. He turns around, grabs the box, sees money on the table, and the box of, like, the crate of pears just, like, disappear. It's just like, where the fuck are they? He runs up the fucking hill, and Yoshi is talking about how, oh, that pear farmer gave you rotten pears. I bet you, by the next year, he's always going to keep selling you his rotten pears because you bought it from him once. Because people are evil, and, like, the world is bad. This is like their whole like back and forth philosophy thing where Shin Chao believes that, you know, everything is good and Yoshi is just like everything is bad.
They are literally the googly eye and the bagel.
Exactly.
Oh no, Alina, don't do this to me.
Basically, that is it. So Yoshi was just like talking about this at length, and Shin Chao was just like, okay, yeah, sure, here's like a crate of rotten pears, and the pear farmer is just like, what the fuck did you do? Why did you take my rotten pears? Why did you buy them? Why did you even pay for them, bro? He was just like, you know, and then the farmer just like grabs them and then like hauls ass back down the mountain.
He also gave him the good pears.
Work. It's rotten
He carried
work.
a whole crate of good pears to trade the rotten pears. that he paid for.
And it's just so funny to me because I thought it would be hilarious if Qian Qiu would have had, like, his own, like, worthless rock moment where he is just like, even though you're rotten, I would have fucking paid for you.
SJ,
I wouldn't wish you on anyone else.
It's rotten work, not to me. Not if it's you.
Oh no.
They have the exact opposite. It's kind of like, it's rotten work, especially to me, especially if
because
you.
it's you. Yeah.
I would do it
Okay,
for Christ
noted.
alive.
I love that. That's actually one of my favorite dynamics when it comes to, like, a duo. I'm like, ooh, I like it when they're like, oh, god damn, you're really annoying, but I'm gonna do this for you anyway.
I think the way we described it was that, from Yongshi's perspective, he is, like, his wife is about to divorce him and he's trying to win him back. From Qian Qiu's perspective, this is basically Hannibal Lecter Will Grant. That's how he described it while I was reading the novel.
Oh my god!
Tell me, Qiao.
Based on the primer that you told me, based on the primer you told me, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's how we were, like, breaking it down.
Oh my god. And he just keeps picking Qian Qiu out.
Yeah, he just yoinks Qian Qiu from
He just
situations.
yoinks him out of places. Oh my god, it is Hannibal and Will.
That's what I'm saying. This is basically, from his perspective, this is a psychological thriller.
Oh
But,
my
like,
god!
but Yongshi is just like, oh, my wife, when he smiles, my heart beats faster.
Oh my god,
it's so bad.
Oh my god!
I want to push him off a cliff.
Multiple people have tried that, and it never sticks.
It hasn't worked, SJ. I think we've established.
He's a cockroach. I fucking hate him. I think, okay, there was this one part in the courtship arc where he was just like he brought, like, Qian Qiu out in the morning to train, right? They were like, yeah, so they went up the mountain, they were, like, sparring with each other, and then, like, as they were walking back, Qian Qiu was just like, hey, you remember when you traded me for a sword? Whatever happened to that thing? And, like, the description was just like, he fell into a hole he dug up.
And the funniest thing is that Qian Qiu didn't even mean to, like, antagonize him or hurt him with that. He was literally genuinely curious, like, hey, what happened to that sword that you traded me for?
Remember
and
that
was like, it was just like, oh god.
It's giving. Didn't you have a flaming sword? You did. It was flaming like anything.
We have an A for that, right, Alina? Oh my god.
We have an AU for that. Qian Qiu is like the one thing that we have an AU for everything.
I know.
Oh my god.
So bad.
The brain rot is that deep, guys.
It is so deep. Okay, so you know how I said we don't interact with the fandom?
Yes.
Our GMs have so many AUs in them, I can't even begin to tell you. Hold on. I think I was supposed to count these.
It is so much. There is a lot.
We have 16 right now, and counting.
Would you like to share?
Oh my god, I'll share the Notion page with you. I had to keep count of this. It was that bad. The Qian Qiu ideas, specifically from our Discord DMs, there is so much. To the point that we even had, like, I think we have 2 Genshin AUs, if I remember correctly. One of them was me going, what if they had visions? And then one of them was Alina going, what if they were Adepti?
Oh my god.
Kinda like that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it now, guys. You can't see it because they're not gonna share it, but I'm looking at it and I'm like,
no.
oh my god, guys.
Yeah, there's a lot. I actually haven't added, like, the recent ones. I think we were talking about, oh god, we were talking about Shingyu.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, the raw fish.
The raw fish. Oh my god. We don't have to talk about Shingyu on the fucking recording. No, because it's, like, one of those crack rare pair ships that we just, like, happen to have, you know, on hand. Alina has this, like, conspiracy theory that one of the characters who dies does not die because like the way people die in this novel, they have to be like visually.
I was about to ask that question.
Like,
I was like, do you see the body?
If you die off screen, they absolutely do not see the body.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So my theory is that she faked her death, and she tucked her arms and legs into her body, curled into a ball, and she rolled away.
From
she
the
rolled
plot.
away.
Here's the thing.
She rolled away.
I could see
away
that.
from the plot into
could see
retirement.
We have, as always, we have like a trans headcanon that is just like we have like proof that it could work.
Probably works.
That it should work in canon. This is also why he's on my hate.
Yes,
my Blorbo hate
SJ's infamous Blorbo hate list, where SJ has Blorbos that SJ hates.
Okay.
SJ would push them off a
Listen.
cliff, but they are SJ's Blorbos nonetheless.
Yes. Listen. Okay. So, there's my Blorbo hate list because I see too much of myself in them, and then there's my Blorbo love list where I want to be them, basically. So, like, if we want to talk in terms that you can understand, I will bleep this out. Is on the hate list. And
Yes,
is on the love list. Yes,
knew
exactly. Exactly. That's it. That's how the thing works. Scaramouche is actually on the hate list.
I know Scaramouche is on the hate list. You don't have to tell me that.
Like, a few days ago, I tried to make a Venn diagram of Scaramouche. And
Alina, I love you.
and
Thank you.
it was a
Shocking.
doozy because
There's too much.
the overlap is so huge. I
know.
don't have any other
SJ.
space.
I know.
Alina, thank you.
Alina was taking pictures of like doodles, right? And I was just like, why is there a Venn diagram of this doodle? And Alina was like, don't worry about it. I was like, okay. I guess I won't.
Alina, thank you so much. It's so true. And we will not
so
be
much.
doing it for my Blorbos, because no. You know what? It's
You
in
would not
theme with
believe,
this
like-
novel.
There was too much in the middle part of the Venn diagram. One of the things
It might
was
as well
Asian.
be a circle.
Exactly. That's why they're on the hate list, because there's too much of me and them.
Did you just say the thing in the middle was Asian?
Yeah, one of the
Yes.
things on the list was Asian.
They're all Asian.
They're all Asian. Different flavors of Asian.
Oh
you
my
know.
god. It's a circle, SJ. It's not even
It's
a
a
Venn
circle.
diagram. It's a
Exactly.
circle. I want you to think about the fact that these Blorbos on your hate list would also probably have a hate list and a love list.
Like, would they? Yawashi has
literally
no
have
space in his heart, bro.
He would not have a love list because, like, the only thing
Yeah, the only
that
person in it.
probably could make it to the love list is his wife
Yeah.
Love his
slash
wife.
husband. He's
Loving
very
husband.
vague about it.
Yeah. Like, he proposes, I think, twice in the novel, right? Well, not the
keeps-
official parts.
He
Just
keeps
normal
referring
things.
to himself as the one marrying In instead
Yeah.
of the
That's
one
cute.
marrying Shen Qiao. So
That's cute. That's cute. I
It's
like
just like,
that.
what do you mean?
There are many arcs, right? Give me their arcs. I wanna
Oh my god.
for the listeners, because I know you explained it in the primer, but I would like the listeners to know
I
in
gotta look up
hopes-
the primer again.
in hopes that this will
I have
make
the primer
them.
on hand.
Okay.
It is.
Oh,
list
let's
them
go,
down.
Alina.
Bart is in the way.
Yes, Bart is in the way. I need everyone to know that Bart Simpson
Bart
is
Simpson
in
is
the
in the Listen! We had to put pictures in there. It was too boring.
Bart, go away. So after Shen Qiao got yeeted down a mountain, got amnesia, and got most of his memories back, he went home, and that's our homecoming arc, and that's when we realized that the problems are bigger than we expected.
Oh
And then
dear.
fast forward several arcs, all of which involve Yongshi being an asshole. We get to the betrayal arc. That's when Yongshi, asshole admits to being asshole is supreme asshole move. That's That's the betrayal arc.
Stop.
And the betrayal arc is also when Shen Qiao adopted his first child. The first of many of them. Yeah, and then he immediately takes the child and walks into the middle of a civil war, but that's, we don't have to worry about that one.
Yeah, the Civil War is more, what do you call it? Foreshadowing.
It's for thematic purposes.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah. And then we reach the part where 5 people in the world decided that they've had enough of Yan Wushi. They needed him gone, so they cancel him in public.
Right.
Violently.
Yes.
He also spawned 3 different personalities.
Oh god.
And then there was a whole thing about trying to get back to the Central Plains, and they got separated along the way. And that's when Shen Qiao got his second child in the process. And then there is a huge tournament arc where we meet our lesbians. The lesbians, they are here.
Oh, I should mention, this is one of the reasons SJ got into this. It was like the box with the cheese. Yes. Alina put the cheese that was the presence of lesbians in the box, and SJ was lured into the box.
So it was so easy. It was just child's play. Alina said there were lesbians, there's a guy with chronic illness, he adopts some kids, he also has like issues with his fucking siblings. I was just like, oh, thank you.
And now we're all in the box.
Yes, we're now all in the box. That is this episode. Welcome to the box.
Alright, so anyway, after
the
absolutely amazing appearances by the lesbians, we're inching towards the finale. They helped start a coup. They overthrew an entire emperor and started a whole new dynasty. And then Shen Qiao goes home again to confront his brother and basically take back his sect, Lion King style. It literally involves a villain being killed by his underling because he was mistreating them too badly.
So
Union nice.
Girl boss era viral.
And then literally somewhere during this, Shen Qiao learns that Yan Wushi is challenging the final boss in this world.
The final boss, TM.
Yan Wushi challenges the final boss of the world, and should I even spoil the ending? Or should I just stop here?
I think very recently I described their dynamic as once divorced, 1 foot out of the door. That is their post-canon dynamic now.
It's amazing because they literally got divorced once without ever getting married, and somehow Shen Qiao got the kid in the divorce.
Oh, that's how all the best ships. There should always be
that's how they start.
There should always be divorce involved.
This is the only thing I've ever talked to Alina about, like, when it comes to their dynamic. And, like, not a lot of people have this, like, dynamic in mind when they write Yanxia. Is just that for a few months, like, after spending time together, like, after a few months, Shen Qiao just starts thinking, man, I miss that guy. I should go look for him. I should meet up with him. And he comes down the mountain. They shag for a bit. And then they spend time together. Like, maybe, like, give it 2 to 3 days. And then he remembers why they don't spend a lot of time together. And then he comes back up the mountain.
Oh, God.
And the cycle continues. He literally comes down the mountain to get laid.
Would you walk down a mountain to get laid? He would.
Stop! He comes down once a month to get laid. Like, Alina...
He'll be coming down the mountain to be laid.
One of the songs on their character playlist in
the Rock and Pear playlist.
In the Rock and Pear playlist is basically Hey Little Songbird, Hades Town.
Oh, gosh.
Right? And we make fun of that a lot because that's their dynamic. But also, it's just so funny to me, like, by the end of this novel, they're basically Hades and Persephone, Hades Town. Like, you know, they spend time apart and they're like, oh, I miss that guy. Like, but the turning of the seasons.
But then Yan Wushi shows up and Shen Qiao's like, you're early.
I missed you.
He wouldn't even say I miss you. He would be like, this vulnerable one missed you.
He's just like, oh, stop it. You missed me.
Oh my
stop.
God.
I'll kill him. No, but he actually does refer to himself in third person.
Oh my god.
He's that bad.
It's absolutely horrendous. Things are dire.
This is the man you chose.
Point. This is the man you chose? You sure?
One of the
He
characters...
doesn't come with a return receipt. You get him, you keep him.
Alina's blorbo in this novel, like, her fucking daughter bewitched her heart and soul, bro. Li Qian. Okay. This guy, autism. the autism just, like
Sorry.
emanating from him.
It's so funny, because you were just like, autism, and then there was a pause.
No, the autism just, like, emanating from this guy.
The vibes.
He literally walks up to Xin Qiao. He's just like, you're a disgrace. Why are you laying with the devil? Or something to that effect.
That goes
He's like,
hard.
you are a fine person. Why are you dancing with the devil?
Ooh.
Exactly. So that happens, and then Xin Qiao gets into a fight. He wins, and then he's just like, never mind, I changed my mind. I like you. Please duel me. This guy's like 18 years old. He's a kid, okay? Xin Qiao is just like, okay.
Who is
kid.
this sassy lost kid?
Exactly.
Fight me, he said.
It's so funny. This is one of the... Okay, this is raw fish. Raw fish. We kind of do have to talk about it, because we have this one specific, like, well, two specific parts of an AU, right? Where post-canon, all of the Taoist sects, which is like Qian Temple, then there's Bixia, and then Xuandu. Yeah. So they're like all of the Taoist sects in the novel, like mentioned. We don't know anyone else, but like, you know, you're like, what if they had like an exchange program?
Oh my god.
It would be funny. So like it's just like there was this part in the sword tournament arc. They held it in Qian Temple.
That's basically Li Xingyu's school.
Yeah, this is where the guy lives. And then like the number of people that come to this sect. There's Shen Chao's younger sister, who just happened to be there because the one who was doing the census for that fucking tournament just so happened to be her ex-girlfriend at the time. They were not together at the time. Yeah.
And like, they make me go insane because
the census, so you gotta
duck's hair behind ear. How you know?
Like, the lesbians make me so insane because we have Shen Qiao's younger sister, and she's basically the jock, and in her ex, one doing the census, she is literally a archivist of martial arts who is so good at telling people's weaknesses that she can talk a man.
That's cute.
She can shame a man down a mountain. She's like, you have these problems that make you like super weak, but if you do this, you can get better. And the guy's like, oh my god, thank you. I am enlightened. I will now leave.
He literally leaves the premises. Okay.
I love that dynamic. That's really cute.
So there's Yuanji Xiao, the currently not girlfriend of Gu Hongbo, and then there's Li Jingyu, and then there's Yaoshi's technical adoptive son, Yu Xingyan. And that's our favorite like quartet basically for the sword tournament. This is their network, this is their friendship group. Then there's like the leader of the daycare center. That's the only way I can describe her, because he literally leaves them there all the goddamn time. He's just like, they'll be fine, Shen Daojiang. I'll take care of them.
Oh my god.
But yeah, we like to think they met up. They'll be besties. I had like a whole diagram about it. Like, Yu Xingyan has all of the tea about politics because Jiaoqing has been in quarantine for like how many years? 6, if I remember.
They never say it. They never say it.
Yeah,
she's
but
been in there for
been in
a few years.
And then there's Gu Hongbo, who has been living on a mountain for a long time, so she also definitely doesn't know much about the world. So their source of information is Yu Xingyan, who is not a very reliable source, but you know, he has some credits. Then there's Li Qingyu, who literally does not care about shit, but like, you know, except for swords and like sword training, and also like
I respect
martial arts.
That would have been Lian when I was in grade school.
Extreme autism, the guy. Literal.
Slay.
So our rare pair was Li Qingyu and Yixing. I actually have no idea how we came up with this. I don't remember.
Like, I remember how we came up with the name, but I cannot for the life of me remember exactly why we decided that this would be a good idea, but now it's a good idea. Because I said so.
I am looking through the chat. I think it was like very on the spot. Oh, I think I found it!
Where?
Let's go! Okay. Right, because we were talking about how most of the fandom ships Yu Xingya with Shen Qiao's youngest brother, Yuan Ying.
So he came down the mountain to try and find Shen Qiao, and he didn't find Shen Qiao, but he did find Yu Shengyan. So Yu Shengyan has been annoying him non-stop, and people somehow find that charming, but that's just boring.
Ooh.
They're just boring, and we decided that no. Let's spice things up.
I think the dynamic we were going for is that this guy who was just like completely uninterested, and this guy who was just like, I like a challenge. One of them is all business and will only tolerate you based on your utility within a situation, while the other is, you know, schemes, but mostly just, you know, chaotic neutral and wants to fuck around and find out. Because he's still Young Wuxi's kid. You know? At the end of the day. He still got that dynamic. So we were like, but what if, right?
Yep.
Because Yuan Ying fucking hates this guy.
He literally always wanted to punch him directly in the face, but he's too polite to do it.
And Li Qingyu and Yu Xingyan, like, didn't even meet in the sword tournament. They did not talk to each other, but we were just like, well, what if? It'd be really funny.
What
so
if?
that's where it
But
came
what
from.
if this was a visual thing? Would it be like those videos where they edit characters who aren't in the same scene together?
Oh, stop. I don't know. I think the consensus we had with Xingyu was like there are a rare pair that we just have on hand because it'd be funny, but realistically they would never.
Okay, and I just gotta explain why we call them raw fish.
Yes,
Yeah.
why do you call them
We
raw
took
fish?
one character from each of their names and smashed them together, and those characters happen to be the Chinese character for raw fish.
Raw fish,
Oh
baby.
my god.
We got sushi in here.
I love it. I love that. I miss that kind of creativity when it comes to ship
Oh my
names.
god, I feel like this is the part where I get to talk about, like, Rock and Pear, and why I think it's actually a better ship name than Yenshen.
Oh,
Okay.
Yes, and this is like, I'm sorry that I'm going to have to do this to you, but this is like linguistics.
Let's fucking go.
Okay, so the thing about like ship names is that when you do it in English or other languages, you tend to just take two syllables and then you smash them together, and the end product typically don't mean anything in itself. So we have like Destiel from Supernatural and Azzy-Crow from Good Omens.
Yeah.
I feel like this is why people started calling them ineffable husbands, because Azzy-Crow just doesn't mean anything. But
Yeah.
like with Chinese names, if you take a syllable, you're taking a whole character, and that character
Right.
tend to have more than one meaning. So when you
Good Hung Show.
oh my god, like Hung Xiao, but okay, stay on track, Alina. Okay, so Yenshen, we're taking their first names and smashing them together, but like individually speaking, those two characters have their own meanings. Like Yen literally means it has three meanings. It means bright or peaceful or late, and then we have Shen Qiao's Shen Qiao's last name, and that word used to be used interchangeably with the character for to sink, to drown, to submerge. So when So when people say 眼神, when people throw 眼神 around, the mental image I'm getting is like drowned light or peace submerged. Like literally poetic images that
fish bombing.
How dare you? But also like you have Shen Qiao's Shen Qiao's last name, which has a water motif. So literally they both have water motifs, and it's like every time someone says 眼神, I'm like, are you guys even aware of the potential you are giving me? The possibility of waxing poetic, but I also don't like to wax poetic about them. I don't think they deserve it. So on the other hand, we have Rock and Pear, which is just superior in
terms of
like
name.
every single way. Like
every single
Rock
aspect of it.
First of all, Rock and Pear, you got a rhythm there.
Rock and Pear.
And
hey,
also,
the rhymes!
The Rock and Pear, literally, I think in my head, Rock and Pear occupies the same space phonetically with Bill and Ted.
Stop!
Yes! Yes.
Every time I go Rock
no,
and
but
Pear,
I do agree that I like the idea of
Friendship.
I like Rock and Pear better because it's kind of like an in the know thing. Like if you know the story, if you're dedicated to the story, you know
it's like
what
an
it means.
in-joke.
Yeah, you know what it means. It's very old school Tumblr. It's giving profound bond, or like when people like do the OTP, and then then there's a quote. It's giving that.
Yeah.
It's like world's finest, and you have to have read some Batman or Superman comics to get world's finest.
Exactly.
I feel like that's like what's missing in a lot of like mostly shippers in fandom nowadays, is that they tend to forget to give you what the context is for these ships. Mm-hmm. To the point that when you I guess like for the lack of a better term, when you consume content for these ships, you like if you just have their names, you're just like, these are the two characters I support, that's it. But if you have like that very in-jokey kind of like ship name,
it kind of makes you want to know more.
Yeah,
like, what's going on.
And then you finally know what the context is for that quote, and you're like, oh god.
Yeah, when you and Alina explained what Rock and Pear meant, I was like, oh man, oh boy,
you get it.
I get it.
Like for a while too, because like in the audio drama, I think Alina told me this, like one of their like running motifs with Rock and Pear was actually like running water.
I gotta mention this. Okay, so in the first season, you only hear the sound of the sword. You don't have the rushing water, but you understand that the sword means Shen Qiao. But starting from season 2, you start to get the sound of rushing water, and that is used to symbolize 烟雾师. So
because
literally
figuring technique.
Oh god.
That's the word to use. I'm taking it. It basically is like his martial arts thing.
He only fights by
water.
Pointing. They're translating it officially as spring water finger technique. But in ye old days, when all we had was fan translation, everyone said spring water fingering, and
it was so funny. When I gave that out of context to my sister, she was like, that sounds so wrong. And I was like, because it is. I think I wanted to mention this because we were talking about their dynamic, like, at some point in the chat. And I was just like, we were trying to pinpoint where in the novel they felt feelings, They felt emotions. The Bart...
They felt an emotion.
Yeah, they felt an emotion. And I was just like, I can't literally pinpoint where Shen Qiao falls in love. The quote-unquote falls in love. The moment.
Okay. I like that. Mm-hmm. I like that. Okay, based on what you guys say, I like that you can't pinpoint it, because that's a lot like real life.
Right.
We have like this romanticized notion of the moment.
Right.
But in real life, when you fall in love with someone, it's not an moment. You just realize somewhere along the way, I really like them. I don't remember when I realized that I really love them or really like them, but I know that I do.
Right. We were talking about that, I think, in relation to the fact that, like, you can't definitively say that this novel is a romance novel, because, like, romance novels follow a certain, like, plot development where they, you know, the meet cute, the development, and then there's the oh moment, and then they, like, fall officially into each other. And that's it. That's the end of the whole romance thing. But, like, since this is a romance novel, the way I described it is basically, it was just, like, for us, like, every single day for a year straight, or, like, 3 years straight, technically, within this fucking novel, multiple years straight, he digs a hole right next to a river until it changes course. And Alina was just like, that is the most poetic thing I've ever
That
heard
is
about.
literally the nicest way you can describe the relationship.
Yeah.
The ditch digging.
The ditch digging. Literally. It's like Evergreen getting stuck in the...
Oh god.
Oh god. It's Evergreen getting stuck in a Suez Canal. You can dig a ditch next to the fucking boat every single day until it unlodges itself.
SJ.
Yes.
SJ, you know how you mentioned that? Guess what happened today?
What?
Ship grounded in Egypt's Suez Canal, one of the world's busiest shipping routes.
Stop! You're kidding!
No, I am not.
Oh my god.
But it was only stuck for a very short time compared to Ever Given. It's
Compared to, Evergreen.
Oh my god. That is so topical. I didn't even know. We had no power the whole day. Holy Christ. Congratulations, everyone. We did it. Yo, she get to digging, bitch.
who is to say that he wouldn't just sink the boat to make a bigger mess just to see what would happen?
Just to see what would happen. Right? What if he, like, opens the tank and, like, unloads all of the oil in the goddamn canal? Just to see what would happen. The universe is playing a joke on me right now. As always happens with all of the things that I say out loud. I should never talk. Thank you.
You keep accidentally knocking the dodgeball into yourself.
Apollo just wouldn't stop nailing you with the ball.
Apollo's like, there's SJ.
Stop.
Get him.
Ha!
Literally.
Get him!
Alina's profit list is the funniest thing. Okay, for the record, I read this novel within the span of, like, I think 3 weeks, right? And Alina was there for the entire ride. I was live reacting, and I think at one point, before I found out that Qian Qiu was gonna be adopting multiple children within this novel, I said that he gave off the energy of a single father of 3.
Oh my god.
And I remember this vividly. I was at the dentist waiting for my turn. I saw the message and I was like, I legally cannot tell them how right they are. So I created this little list called SJ's Profit Moments, and that was the first entry.
I don't even know what the other...
Like, one of the other entries is Shen Qiao doing his homework while Yongshi naps, and that is basically the rehabilitation arc.
Oh my god.
Because Shen Qiao is, like, meditating, getting stronger, well...
Right, because I called him a grad student.
Yep.
Stop!
Oh my god.
This is so funny!
Oh, speaking of, like, students and graduation, hi Jeans, if you're listening to this.
Congratulations, Jeanette. Let's go.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. God willing, we get there. We got this. We got this, girl. God willing, we got there. What's another one? I think we already mentioned the Taoist sect exchange program.
Oh my god, can we talk about cheating scam AU?
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh god. Our running joke is that Shen Qiao needs, like, a good scream in the woods. Because he is so stressed out. We all need it.
I would like to go scream in the woods right about now.
This guy is so fucking repressed that the only time you ever see him like express an emotion is like if it's positive or if you get him drunk, which is what happened with them.
Gee,
right?
SJ, I wonder
don't
what
worry
this
about
has in common
Don't
with your
don't don't worry about it. Anyway, so we posited that this
Alina
guy
laughing.
we need this guy needs a scream in the woods. So we thought, what if he just goes out and screams in the woods like every other day because he needs it, because he's running a sect and he has no idea what's going on, right? And then the disciples just start going, do you ever just hear screaming in the woods? And he's just like sweating the corner, just like, I don't know idea what you're talking about. I don't know, whatever.
It's probably a goat or something.
Yeah, it's probably just a mountain goat or something. And then like one of the disciples just goes, what if there's like a creature out in the woods? What if there's something out there? How do we get to the chili part? I think it was like Yoshi just like finding out about this. Like, he was just like, they think you're a mountain goat.
It's like the disciples are like, but we've never seen this thing, and it only started recently, so it couldn't have been a mountain goat. It has to be something else. And they started coming up with conspiracy theories, like freaking Ryan Bergara with his little with his little PowerPoints. So Shinjiao...
No, you know what, guys? Today you were Ryan Bergara with your little PowerPoint.
Stop our little primer. We don't have to talk about it.
and then Yoshi like catches wind of this, and he's like, "Oh my god, you are the cryptid of Shendushan."
The cryptid of Shendushan.
We can profit from this.
Stop.
Oh
he does this.
God.
He does this in the novel too. Like there's this one time, someone tried to buy Shin Chao's time, like sexually. He was just like, "Oh, are you a boy toy for hire?" And he's just like, "Oh, you're mistaken. I am not a boy toy. We are not dating. This man is just harassing me. Have a good day, sir." That was how it went. And then Yoshi was just like, "No. You gotta think about this. If he gives me 20 gold, you can go with him and then escape and then come back and then we do it again. You can make a profit out of this."
I love teamwork.
And it's just like, I'm not gonna lie for you. Fuck off. But yeah, it's so highly likely that he'll just be like, "No, but think about it. We can make a profit out of this. What if you're a Qilin, right? Think about it. What if you're a Qilin?" And then he's just like,
What if you're Ganyu's cousin?
That's how we like went down this rabbit hole about how we were trying to make sense of what an actual Qilin was, and then Alina was talking to me about how it was probably like a giraffe or something.
Yeah.
Right? Because Qilin are technically mythical creatures, but like they were based off of something because they were talking about it in like texts.
Like actual historical records mention this creature.
And then I was just like, but what if it's a moose? What if it's a lost moose in ancient China just roaming around? And they're like, that thing is huge. That cannot be natural. That is... It would be so funny. And then we looked at a map of where mooses are, and there's a lot of them very close to the central plains. Listen, there's merit to it.
Like the moose would still have to be very lost, but it's
right.
a lot more likely than a giraffe.
Right. Escaped giraffe in ancient China.
Oh my
gosh. Yeah. No, but what if it's a moose? And then we were like, oh my gosh, it's the return of Canadian Acho. Because we were talking about accents at some point. Because I was asking Alina, like, do they just have like a general like Chinese accent for the audio drama? Like, if you were to adapt this into English, what accents would they have?
So like I mentioned that okay, so like I was delirious at that time, but I said like Shen Qiao. Can you imagine Shen Qiao with a heavy Australian accent?
Stop. Aussie Shen Qiao. What if he's Canadian? And that's that is like the multiple layers of the stupidest shit that comes out of this chat. This is what happens when we don't have other people to talk to. It's just 16 AUs and out of context in jokes. It's so funny.
So like basically Canadian Ah Qiao, instead of the baby deer, it's a huge moose that cannot be killed.
Moose.
Oh god.
Large moose, Ah Qiao. It's giving ugly duckling moments. Like you thought it was a deer. It's actually a moose. Is there anything we want to add to whatever the fuck we just talked about?
Yeah, I was about to say, do you guys have anything else you want to add? This is your time to really sell the listeners on the brain rot. Pull them into your orbit, as
Are we selling them in? I don't know. I feel like we were just telling them about what's going on. If you guys want to fall into it, go fall into it yourself. I feel like
you should tumble into it like Shen Qiao tumbled down a mountain.
I love that.
But But I'm going to talk about the lesbians because we have to talk about the lesbians.
Let's go.
The thing that so few people talk about this book is that the female characters in this book are just amazing. I love them. It's actually so rare in wuxia novels for women to have any kind of significance other than to be a love interest or to die tragically.
My god.
I cannot stress enough how they didn't fridge any of the women in this novel for cheap shock.
The bar's on the floor.
The bar is on the floor.
Also, it's just so rare that we get a lesbian couple whose relationship has nothing to do with the man in the novel.
Right.
Like, they're not there to be like a parallel or a foil to the man. They're just over there doing their own thing.
Oh, something stuck in my throat. Anyway.
And like that is the lead up to the lesbians because what Gu Hengbo and Yuan Zixiao have absolutely fascinates me because we see them at basically the midpoint of their relationship. They've already met, they've had a relationship, they broke up.
They've broken up.
For like if you see it from Gu Hengbo's point of view, they broke up for no reason because Yuan Zixiao left her without saying goodbye.
My god.
She left her. And like the way I sold it was that she freaking left her in the middle of the night. So
right.
So
fresh off reverse AU, have you no shame?
I was about to say, I've seen this film before.
Heard this many times. Oh my god.
The way I like to say it is the lesbians are fully in their Lady in the Sun phase.
They're lesbians.
While the boys are literally still in their train from nowhere part.
Stop!
It is ridiculous.
That is okay, that's fair. Yeah, I can see it. That's so evil. Real. The funny thing about this, because I did try for a time to interact with the fandom, right? Ooh. Because I'm fresh off a breakup with a certain other fandom, and I am also like knee deep into another one. So I'm just, and I like, the thing with the other one is that I can't be very public about it because I don't like promoting things that, have very harmful messages. But I am still, enjoying it critically, just not openly advertising it. So with Qian Qiu, I was just like, I want to interact with our fandom again. I want to, like, talk to a community of people who like this novel. So, I joined a Discord server.
We're not going to name any names.
Yeah, it did not take. Because,
oh dear.
You know how we said this is not a romance novel? They're very convinced this is a romance novel. It was very hard to talk about things that were not rock and pear in the very, very specific way that we like rock and pear. Like, I think I brought up multiple women within the novel as a social experiment, right? I was just like, in the general channel, I was talking about the multiple women in this novel. There are a lot of them. And I think at some point in the middle of that, like, I mentioned, Yoshi once. So far, it was just me and Alina in the general channel talking. I mentioned Yoshi once. Someone comes in, laughs, and then leaves. Right. And then we keep talking about it, and then we stop. And then someone comes into the general channel and brings up the previous topic.
It's like they completely they skipped over the entire talk about the women to go back to the men.
And then as a follow-up social experiment, I throw in the idea, hey, what if Yoshi was trans?
Not a single taker.
No.
Not a single one. Zero interaction. God. So I was just like, okay, social experiment done. What were our results? Not a lot. Very much
like
nothing.
I would literally refer people to your video essay. Also, like I also did my own like
social
experiment because one of the people in the server was actually talking about the women. They were like, "Oh, I wish the author would write like femships," and I went in. I was like, "Yeah," and then I raised several ideas about let's see, 顾恒博 and 任子潇, and then it was like someone said, "Yeah." And then they immediately went on to talk about a ship that doesn't exist in the novel that's about men. And I am just...
The social experiments, bro. It's so funny. And I think the funny thing about it is, like, and I've talked to my sister about this at length, right? If you bring up this kind of shit, the general consensus is gonna be, like, you're looking for takers in a Dunmei fandom, which is basically, it's BL. Why are you looking for, feminism in a BL novel? It's the consensus. And I was just like, in 2023? My sister was like, yeah. Yeah. I think after that conversation, my sister was like, you have the worst luck in fandoms. And I was just like, you can't just fucking say that to me. How dare you?
SJ, think about it.
I can't even deny it. It's so sad, bro. Come on. I am forever stuck with the perpetually mad about the way people have opinions about a character that I like. Right.
Like, my favorite character from Qian Qiu is Shen Qiao, and I cannot engage in fandom conversations at all because people misinterpret his character to the degree where they might as well be talking about a whole other character. Basically, that they're talking about another character from another novel. It's like that because Qian Qiu is so different from a lot of the Danmei or BL works out there. It's basically historical fiction with a hint of romance, but people seem to have trouble processing this information, so they try their absolute best to course correct their reading. So it fits back to the conventional BL reading. I think no one besides you or just maybe Konya draws Shen Qiao looking actually angry. But he gets actually angry so many times in the novel, and
yeah, this man has a temper. Not a lot of people talk about that. Could you imagine? I feel like I'm getting sent like a hate mob if I fucking when we release this and like after the shit we talked about and all of the public shaming that we've done.
We didn't name any names.
We didn't name any names. What else? I think that's it. I think we've done it.
We've had our first guest. Alina, you are our inaugural, am I using that word right? You are very first guest. But thank you for joining us, Alina. I really
thank you for inviting
me. You guys made like a really very entertaining primer, and like listening to you guys talk about how enthusiastic you are about 1,000 Autumns is very fun to listen to. Even if I haven't read the whole thing either. But now I'm gonna be thinking about Rock and Pear.
Yeah, you have no choice now. Now you have some context, and every time we talk about it, you will know. You will have the knowledge. How does it feel to just rant for 4 hours? 3, technically.
It's very liberating.
It's your scream in the woods.
Yeah. It's your Qilin era.
Yeah. It's my Canadian Acho era.
Stop.
Like, I feel like if you want to enjoy like the real chaos, maybe I'm just saying maybe we can live stream the truly horrendous animated series adaptation.
Let's fucking go.
You can just hear us screaming.
It'll be like a director's commentary, but it's like Alina pausing, and then I will also add my own like commentary. It's so bad.
The titty window is only the tip of the iceberg.
We can try.
I can't believe
when Gab is freed from. What's our next episode?
Listen, it's June. Mm-hmm. It's Pride Month. I'm trying to decide.
Hopefully, we get to record for June.
We will find a way because it's June. Okay, we're gay people. Mm-hmm. Come on.
Right.
I'm trying to decide between 2 films. One of those is The Matrix, and the other is Josie and the Pussycats. And both of them are gay in different ways.
Yeah. What happens will happen. I'm not gonna lie.
What happened? I don't want to say, like, we'll be definitively doing, like, a certain thing. Like, we were supposed to do Mob Psycho.
We'll get to it eventually.
It will happen. It will happen. It will happen. If not, SJ will knock me out at one point and just like tie me to a chair.
It's one of those, if I had to sit through The Matrix.
I'm only making you watch 2 movies. This is 3. See, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing for all our listeners. SJ likes long form content.
I do. I really do.
I make SJ sit through 2 movies and that's it.
I have a lot of words about movies. I can't. We were not getting into it. Whatever.
Okay. So, thank you for listening to our first episode with our guest, Alina. After a long, long time of not hearing our voices. Like the impromptu hiatus.
Yeah.
We'll try not to do that again without prior announcement.
Thanks for listening. We'll just say our byes. Bye-bye.
Bye.
What you just heard was a talk from the Secret Treehouse. Those were your hosts, SJ and Gab, and this was a production by The Playground. If you like that, please consider supporting us through the links found in the show notes. If you support us for as low as $6 on Ko-fi, you can get the whole uncut version of this episode. And if you want your name at the end of the episode, like at this moment here, you can support us for $10. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope we can get to hang out again.